So tell me if you've had this experience. You've waken up a little bit later than you wanted to in the morning because you stayed up really late watching YouTube, and you have on your phone a recommended video to you. This time it's from someone you're subscribed to, and then you watch it and you're just really inspired by it. So I know it's really specific, but that's what happened to me this morning. Is I had a YouTube video recommended to me from someone that I've watched for a little while, Langheinrich. I really hope that I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry. I usually, words and names that I have not heard pronounced before, I am just the worst at pronouncing. So Laura had a video about happiness and making a decision to be happy despite your situation. Ignoring statements like, I'm gonna be happy when I have this, or I'm gonna be happy when I am in this place, or I have this job. And being happy in the moment and making a decision to be happy and be satisfied with where you are right now. And inspired me a lot to write a comment. A really thoughtful one. I sat down and I thought about her message and about what makes me happy and what seems to give my life purpose. So I left a comment, and then I looked back on it and I realized that there was still some inspiration left. Her video inspired me enough to be making this video right here. I wanted to expand on what I said in that comment. So the first thing that's on there is being mindful. Being mindful is a word or a concept that's thrown around a lot with like meditating or yoga or a lot of that I'm gonna call hippie type stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I don't do much of that, but I like the idea of being mindful, and that is basically just being aware of how your brain works and how your body works and the different stimuli that you get during your day and how that affects you, and knowing how it will affect you or predicting how it's going to affect you, and knowing what makes you happy. Just being aware of how you work. At least that's how I see it, coming from someone that doesn't meditate or do yoga or anything like that. So being mindful. Our bodies and how our bodies operate are not all manual. There are some things that are automated. Blood runs through our veins, our heart pumps, breathing is usually automatic until now, manual breathing mode engaged. And that works with our brain, right? So we take actions, we do things, we're conscious, right? At least to the best of our knowledge, we're conscious. But we cannot affect the physical parts of our brain. We can't rearrange how our brain works and how the chemicals are released and hormones and all that stuff. However, we can indirectly affect that. Knowing what makes me happy and the tasks and the choices that I can make to release dopamine that will create a satisfaction feeling in my brain, I know to do those things. On the other token, I also know what not to do. So I know to avoid things that make me unhappy, like going out and gorging on Taco Bell. It's great in the moment, and you know, you get that big rush and it's like, oh yeah, Crunchwrap Supreme. But afterwards, my body feels bad. My brain starts getting bogged down. I just kind of feel hampered by that choice. So knowing what doesn't make me happy and sleeping in late, which is something that I'm working on. I'm very aware that sleeping in is something that does not make me happy, and I'm trying to fix that. Being mindful of all of those things, the things that make me unsatisfied with how my life is going, and the things that do satisfy me. And being aware of all those things can drastically change how you view your life, your perspective on yourself, and your outlook. I mean, if you're not sure about what actually makes you happy and you're just walking around without a map or a key to your brain, maybe not a key, like a legend, I'm trying to think of it in a map sense, having the legend of knowing what works, how to go about things. If you're completely blind and you're just wandering around, of course you're gonna make mistakes, and you by chance maybe come across things that make you happy, and some of that comes from just trying different things. But for myself, I know a lot about how my brain works, what makes me happy, and where I want to go with my life and my lifestyle. So that's a big component of my happiness. So the second thing that I put in that comment is being grateful. So being grateful for all the things that I have, the opportunities, the situations, the connections, the conversations. The more times that I am grateful, it compounds. So at first it starts off with being grateful for having food and clean water and being able to shower and a bed and a shelter. So those are very basic human needs, right? But I'm now at the point where I'm grateful for the mundane, boring, day-to-day interaction, like going to Panda Express and ordering food and talking to the employee serving my food. But this started on the trip. Traveling alone, I didn't get a lot of chances to have human interaction, just talking to someone. Just talking to someone and interacting, even a basic interaction like saying some comment to some person at a gas station about the weather or something like that. Like literally, there was barely any chances for human interaction. The longer I went on my trip, the more grateful I became for those small interactions between people that I didn't know and getting to know them just on a tiny little level. And that has not left me. 3-4 months later, I'm still going to restaurants or fast food places or the gas station and trying to have a positive impact on those people because I am grateful for the opportunities to connect with them. And it goes further than that, but I'd say that that's something that a lot of people don't really have. I feel that a lot of people take those interactions for granted. I mean, before the trip, I wasn't grateful for interactions like that. I mean, I'm not a jerk. I wouldn't be really mean to the McDonald's employee selling me 5 McChickens at 3 in the morning, but I wouldn't cherish that interaction and try and genuinely connect with them like I would now. So being mindful and being grateful for all the things on a day-to-day basis that I have makes me happy, creates satisfaction in my life on a day-to-day basis and as a whole. So that's what makes me happy. And as always, I want to turn it on you. So I want to ask you to do something. Sit down for 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Just sit down, no distractions, throw your phone across the room, whatever you got to do. Sit down and really think about what makes you happy. It can be in broad terms like being mindful or being grateful or sharing positivity, talking with people, or it can be very specific things like your job or your dog or the place that you live in. Sit down and really think about what makes you happy. Dig deep, no distractions, and leave that comment down below because like I always say, I try and talk about the lifestyle that I want to develop for myself because I'm always growing and I don't want to stop growing. But I also want to hear other ideas, different ideas. A diversity of opinion is integral to growing as a society. So leave that comment down below what makes you happy, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to have more content like this. Thanks for taking that deep dive with me, and I'll see you in the next one.